Goddamn.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
So,
goddamn.
bro, honestly, man,
Ugh.
I might have to say it too this week because god damn.
Goddamn is fucking right today, man. Holy hell. What are the last fucking 2 days of fucking wrestling?
You are not lying, bro. You are not lying. And man, we got Wednesday night, me and Sir K were talking. We said, man, what could possibly make the thumbnail and title for Friday, man? There's hardly anything. So we came to the idea, oh, okay, we'll do this story about SmackDown.
Mhm.
Well, little did we fucking know what would happen
What I would
Thursday
wake up to.
morning.
Mhm.
Dude, WWE actively, I guess, just cancels WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans to switch markets. Now we're going to get to the whole thing in a minute. There's some things we do need to go over in the intro. But man, obviously, we're going to start you guys off with that. We're going to start you guys off with WWE news, and we're going to end you guys with the Saturday night's main event and Double or Nothing predictions. So there will be no review for Saturday night's main event unless something huge happens on that show.
They turn that motherfucker heel, dude. I
So
swear to God.
uh, so if we are live for Saturday night's main event, it will be early Sunday morning, so you guys will have a double stream, I guess,
Mhm.
on Saturday or on Sunday, with Saturday night's main event and Double or Nothing. But man, well, let's not waste any more time because man, I'm excited to get into this, bro. But if this is your first time watching, guys, do not know how the show works. Every Monday we're on here live after Monday Night Raw with NHP Unscripted. Every Friday at 3 p.m. Central, we are on here with the news and every single pay-per-view for WWE and AEW. We are on here live directly after the show goes off the air with the official post-show review. Speaking of that, Sunday night, Double or Nothing. Be there or be square because we will be live after the show goes off the air with that. And with that, if this is your first time watching and you guys are, hey, not that part yet. If you guys did miss Monday's episode of Unscripted, that is should Jacob Fatu be more bothered by JC Mateo? That is episode 248 of Unscripted, and that is available on all platforms for you guys. That is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you want to see it first, join us right here live every single Monday, like I said, after Monday Night Raw for NHP Unscripted, man. Also, if you guys have not got a chance to get your hands on some of the official NHP merchandise, you guys can now find this live on the merch shop. That is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, where you can get this beautiful piece of Notorious podcast merchandise live. Like I said, on the merch shop, again, that is bonfire.com. Link is at the top of the description of this very video, man. So with that, if this is your first time watching and you guys do not know how or who we are here at NHP, I am Johnny, one half of the host of this very show. And as for the other half, we got my man Sir K here. Sir K, please tell us what it is you're smiling about today.
Well, fortunately, again, I cannot do that, but I tell you what I'm not fucking smiling about, and we'll get into that shit. But other than that, dude, I've been doing good, man. I've been doing good. It was fine. It was a good normal week. Yeah, well, I'm excited for this weekend. Saturday night's main event, obviously, and then, the big one, Double or Nothing, man. I'm actually pretty excited for Double or Nothing. There's some certain matches that I'm actually really pumped for, and some I'm scratching my head as to why this is going on, but that's just AEW business. But overall, man, I've been doing good. Excited for this weekend, man. Memorial Day weekend. So. Always great, and gotta love the holiday pay-per-view weekends, man. But overall, man, I'm doing good. Like Durante always asks, how's life? How's the family? Life's good. Family's good. How is everybody doing in the live chat? How's everyone doing watching the replay? What about you, bro? How are you doing?
I am pretty dandy, bro. I am pretty dandy. Still kind of figuring out my lighting situation, trying to figure out what lights up my face best. But other than that, pretty good, pretty good. Just excited, like you said, man. Excited for Double or Nothing weekend. I'm actually excited for a couple things on Double or Nothing. I'm excited that the main event is switched. It is not going
Mm-hmm.
to involve Death Rider stuff. It is going to be Osprey and Hangman, so I'm very excited about that. And
Oh, that's the main event?
yes, they did confirm
Oh,
on
wow.
Wednesday that that will be the main event of the show. So
Fuck, I didn't
um
pay attention to that part at all.
yeah.
Fuck.
so so yes, the Death Riders and Anarchy in the Arena will not be the main event of that show. So that
Hmm,
is good news.
that's good.
Even though the
Mm-hmm.
one time they could have actually put John Moxley and the Death Riders in the
It would
main
have been.
event, it would have been fine because Anarchy in the Arena always turns out to be a great match, and they don't do it, of course, this time. So that's kind of funny. But other than that, excited for that. And today is actually a special day. You see everybody posting about it because this would have been the 38th birthday of the late and great Wyndham
Boy.
Rotunda, Bray Wyatt. So I just want to give a heavenly birthday shout out to the man, the legend. Man, we were just talking about it the other day. Um, but just how amazing this man was able to just blend horror and wrestling. Nobody did it like him.
Mm-hmm.
He was ahead of his time. I know for a lot of people that may have grew up in previous generations, you might agree or you might disagree with my statement. But to me, man, the greatest horror wrestler, the greatest creepy wrestler of all time.
Mm-hmm.
His mindset was ahead of its time, and just his creative vision was again way ahead of his time, man. So, just again, heavenly birthday shout out, man, to the legend. Um, miss him, man. It's been 2 years, and I always think, you know, there's a lot of times where I'll be talking to Sir K or Logan, and we'll always once every couple of months we all just mention like, man, I miss Bray, or I wonder what he would be doing right now. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder
Mm-hmm.
what his creative would be. I wonder, like, obviously by this point we would have been about 3 years into his return. So like, I wonder the feuds he would have had, or just the interactions he would have had with different people. I always wonder. Unfortunately, it had to be left as just one of the greatest what ifs in wrestling history. But it definitely is to me, man. Like, what would this run have accumulated to, or what, just what would he have done with this run, man? And just one of the greatest, like I said, just minds in professional wrestling, one of the most underappreciated minds in wrestling, in my honest opinion, man. And just a true legend, a true legend. So happy 38th heavenly birthday to Bray, to Wyndham. We miss you, man, and you gonna live on forever, bro. I One day
Really.
I will for sure be telling my kids and showing my kids all of his work and just all of his genius. It's and just a, a true icon, man. A true icon.
Oh, truly.
I can't tell you how many non-wrestling fans are familiar with Bray and his work, man. I constantly have non-wrestling fans come up to me and say, "Oh, I don't really watch wrestling, but like sometimes I peeked at do you remember that creepy guy? He had like dreadlocks and a white mask." And I would say, "Yes, I
Of
I
course,
think
I
I know who
remember
you're
him.
talking about. I'm almost positive I remember that guy. But just an icon, bro, a true icon.
truly was. I would think I would say he's my favorite of all time, personally. And I always think, just damn, like you said, what would he be doing right now? He would have had to mix it up with Cena one last time, even if it was
Man,
just for like one episode of television to stare down something. Um, Man, truly is a legend. My favorite of all time, I would say. And truly, to even to this day, it really still. I don't think it'll ever like hit that. He isn't here anymore. I always just think it's hard to describe. It's like when he was coming back, or when he was like planning to come back, and you're like, oh, I wonder when Braid's gonna come back. It's not that I think
yeah.
that anymore, because obviously, I know, but it also still like I just always could picture him in WWE at any point of its state, him slotting in somewhere, and it truly does suck, man. It truly does suck, but it is his birthday. Happy birthday to the legend, man, and man, gone too soon.
We always talk about the dynamics of like how cool it is to see the roles reverse with like a John Cena and a Randy Orton. The roles reverse with John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Um,
Ray fucking getting, like, vindicated that he was right.
yes, yep.
Oh, that'd have been so fucking
Because
good, man.
the
I really would've.
their whole for the better part of their feud, and John Cena said it in Bray's documentary, but the whole premise of their feud was the ultimate villain versus the ultimate good guy. But John never specified which role was which.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So with this whole heel turn and with the trajectory of John Cena's character, it makes it obvious who was the ultimate villain and who was the ultimate good guy. And the good guy ended up being the guy who may have looked like the bad guy, but he may have spoken riddles, but he spoke truth. But he spoke truth
Espe
and uh-huh.
Mhm. Especially with the Wyndham character when he first came back post-release, that, like, kinda trying to be a good person, Bray Wyatt character. I would've loved to see that versus this John Cena. That would've been so perfect, dude.
It absolutely would have, man. It absolutely would have. Yeah, just to see them on the farewell tour or well, a part of Cena's farewell tour. And then, Hunter mentions something with Roman, the Wyatt Six versus the Bloodline, I think would have been
That'd been
awesome.
so good. Mhm.
But man, it sucks to see. It sucks to see. And yeah, I know I know what you mean, man. It's like it never
It never hit.
going back to that documentary, Triple H said a line in there that's very true. He had said, it doesn't even feel like he's gone. It just feels like I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It really, it's so true, man. It really is so
Yeah,
true.
yeah, it definitely is, man. Gone way too soon. I'll never ever forget the day that happened. It was crushing. It was this generation's version of Eddie Guerrero. Is
Yeah,
is
truly.
is the best way to put it. You always hear so many people from the previous generation talk about just how gutting that was, just as a fan, and that was that for us. So sucks, but we miss him, and his legacy is always going to be carried on. He's always going to be on my Mount Rushmore. He is. I don't know what it's going to take to knock those couple names off, but goddamn,
It'd take
I'm
a lot.
I can assure you that his spot is pretty close to cemented. But if not already. But yeah, man. So happy birthday to the legend one more time. And okay. So, but other than
I'm
that,
get angry.
I'm doing good. Yeah, right. From sad to angry. So you know, well, before we move on from Bray, Cody, Cody and Bray would have been
Yeah,
very cool. I
dude.
remember at one point that was planned,
It was.
and a lot of people hated it because Bray. I going back to me saying he was underappreciated. Everybody was like, "Oh, Bray's just theatrics and all this stuff."
Yeah.
He's all theatrics. He's this, he's that. He can't do blah blah blah. that actually would have been really dope. I actually, and yes, I completely agree. It would have been a very Cena and Bray dynamic with Cena and Cody, man. But instead, those fans that complained got Brock versus Cody. So I hope you're happy with what you got. Cody Rhodes having a broken arm and lasting fucking 5 minutes in a Kimura lock with Brock Lesnar. Get out of here. I'll never forget that.
That shit was so bad.
But God, but we were supposed to get Cody and Bray. Obviously, never materialized. And yeah, that's the rest is history, man. But yes. So, like I said, from sad to angry, dude. Oh, brother. Again.
Here it goes.
So to walk you guys through this, man. I am, you know, chilling yesterday. I look at my phone and I see that WrestleMania 42 could possibly be international. And I LOL'd because I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a great joke for tomorrow." We obviously all love to talk about here how much dirt sheets will fuck up your story on you, and we love to talk about that kind of stuff. So, you know, I'm like, "Oh man, this is going to be a great joke for tomorrow." And then all of a sudden, I'm scrolling around a little bit more after I see that, and I see that WWE, in a statement provided by the Greater New Orleans Sports Fund, not WWE. Okay, this statement was provided by the fucking Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation. Oh, look at that. Belle is
She's back.
back.
How
Oh
have
my
you
God.
been?
How are you, Belle? Thank you for joining us. You joined at the right time.
You really did.
Here, so in a statement provided by the Greater New Orleans Sports Foundation, it was indicated that WrestleMania is no longer set for New Orleans, Louisiana in 2026. Mania in New Orleans is rescheduled to a later unspecified year. WWE has decided New Orleans will host Money in the Bank 2026 instead. All right. Okay. So, let's start, man, good God. Okay, let's start. Wow. I guess, man, what were your immediate thoughts on this, and did this come as a shock to you? And just how are you feeling? What was your initial thoughts when you first seen this?
I I don't I don't even like know what my initial thoughts were because I was just thinking a million different things at once. Like how do you have the fucking balls to do this? How do you have the balls to do this but not announce it yourself? Have to have the city announce it? Um And that was before all the Vegas stuff came up. So I was more thinking, so the first thought in my mind was like, holy shit, they might actually be doing London or something. If they're moving that quick, something might have happened. And, that got crushed within like 3 hours. But I was just stunned more than anything, just the shock of them actually doing that wild ass shit, pulling back of an announced WrestleMania location. That is insane. What was your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts, at first, because the initial follow up to this story was that they were going to go international, and we'll get to that in a minute. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, okay. I was like, we're moving out of New Orleans, which is a location that I wasn't too giddy about anyway. Um,
Yeah.
but I hear, they might go international immediately after this. So I was like, oh, all right. I was like, this could be a good thing. But then you got to look at, like, you do have to look at this from like, and the second thing that popped into my head, and the point I'm trying to make is, I immediately go to, wait a minute, how many fucking fans booked a hotel, booked a rental car, booked stuff for the dates of, or the dates around April 11th and 12th of 2026. So a lot of hotels now, some hotels, obviously don't have cancellation fees if it's in a certain amount of time. Some hotels do. How many people booked a hotel and got hit with a fucking cancellation fee?
Mm-hmm.
And my third thought was, man, they have a lot of fucking balls, because we are no stranger to Mania, I guess, cancellations with WrestleMania
Yeah.
41. That was not supposed to happen in Vegas. That was a toss up between Minneapolis, Minnesota, or Las Vegas, Nevada. And then obviously the day of Backlash, France, they announced Vegas. So, but at least with Minnesota, at least what they did for Minnesota was, I don't know, not give us a logo, not have one of our members of the TKO board going out there and declaring that WrestleMania is going to be here. We didn't see a logo. We didn't see dates. We didn't have The Rock coming out there and saying, next year, I love to party in Minnesota because Mania is going to be here. New Orleans got all that jazz. They
Mm-hmm.
got the logo. They got the graphic. They got the dates. They got the, dude,
Rock
the,
announcing it.
man, and they, and going back to Minnesota, at least what Minnesota got in you know in compensation for their Mania getting canceled, at the very least they got a 2-night SummerSlam. At the very least, New Orleans gets Money in the Bank. Holy fuck.
Money. What a fucking bone to throw them, man. Just all right. We gotta give them something. Fucking give them money in the bank. Who cares? Money in the bank. Like you said, at least Minnesota, they got SummerSlam. They got a 2-night SummerSlam. Something that isn't WrestleMania. So let's do one of our bigger shows then. Okay. No, they gave them money in the bank. Not a Rumble, not even a Chamber or a Survivor. No, they got money in the bank. That is a fucking slap in the goddamn face.
A slap in the face it is, bro. A slap in the face it is. Which, then, this obviously got the gears turning, and I said to myself, wait a minute. If Money in the Bank is in New Orleans in 2026, Money in the Bank is a summer show. Do you mean to tell me that for the second year in a row, we're doing a non-international summer? Bro,
We're
what
gonna have to wait for the rosters to change till after fucking SummerSlam again.
stale rosters, and you're not even overseas. You're not even outside of the US. You're staying in the US. Are you not seeing what's going down this year? This shit feels so incredibly stale. Minus this show, it's hard for me to even peek at wrestling. I've been fucking peeking more at the NBA playoffs cuz that's been fucking better. And I was saying it on
Literally.
Monday. How the Knicks and the Pacers is probably going to be a great series. The series has been fucking more compelling than half the shit we've gotten this summer in WWE. Seeing the young OKC Thunder go on this sort of playoff run is more fucking rewarding than Monday Night Raw half these weeks.
Ugh,
What the fuck?
fucking
And
hell,
we're
dude.
and we're keeping, at least from the looks of it, at least Money in the Bank so far, we're keeping next summer in the US as well. you better change the rosters after WrestleMania next year if you've learned anything. Will they? Probably
Literally.
not. But
No, they won't.
at this point, I guess Triple H just, if anything should be uniform, they like to be sports-like. The NBA draft, the NFL draft happens around the same time every year. You don't see
Mhm.
one NBA draft. They say, oh, okay, well, this is going to take place 2 weeks after the NBA finals. Oh, okay, next year we're going to do it in the middle of the fucking season. We're going to do it in
Like, what?
December of next year. It doesn't work like that.
No.
The NBA draft, I believe, I think it takes place in like July-ish, I think. Yeah, let's just do it in September this year. And then next year we'll do it in May. We'll do it
Over.
during the
Yeah.
finals.
Ugh.
What?
Makes no goddamn sense, dude. No consistency.
So, this was the first piece of news we heard. Crazy move. Crazy move, man. And it really it really goes to show, man, that TKO, that they do not give a fuck, bro. They do not
They
give
don't
a
care.
fuck. So,
They care about their money, and that's it. We'll get into that.
why did this happen? You may ask. Well, according to a report from Andrew Baydala, WWE has received a significant bid from an unspecified location to host WrestleMania 42 next year. There it is. There it fucking reveals itself. This is about money, which was obviously, I'm pretty sure, everybody's first guess. But
Mhm.
WWE deadass uprooted plans, graphics, a promo from a member of the board because of an outbid. So, there was another report from PW Insider that there are some within WWE of the belief that WrestleMania 42 in 2026 will emanate from an international location. So obviously this got everybody's head spinning. Oh my god, is it going to be London? Because obviously that's the first thing everybody's mind would go to, being that WWE has, I guess, been on their radar for quite some time. So then we get the report from PW Insider that the word making the rounds locally in Las Vegas this afternoon is that WWE is finalizing WrestleMania 42 to be held once again in Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium next year. This report, according to New Orleans News, was, I guess, reaffirmed by who they're claiming is an industry official. The WrestleMania date, the WrestleMania dates for 2026 that they are currently looking at for their return to Las Vegas is April 18th and 19th. The deal is not done, but it is set to be very, very close. And with that, the last thing, this comes from my man Uncle Dave. He says the belief was that WWE could not make the level of money in New Orleans. Additionally, the company reportedly loved having the show in Las Vegas due to key TKO executives live in the area.
Dog. Which isn't the whole reason they were going to New Orleans again is because they offered them a lot of money.
Correct.
I thought that was the whole reason they were going back so soon to New Orleans because they offered them a shit ton of money. Um, and now you just think, oh, you know what? we can make even more money if we repeat locations. That is insane. And also because they live there. Thanks. Thanks. Well, yeah, the one of the main board guys in the in the NFL, he lives in fucking Chicago, so let's do every fucking major event in one city. Good lord.
One more thing. Sorry, forgot this one. WrestleMania 42, moving from New Orleans to Las Vegas in 2026, was a TKO call as they have a strong relationship with Vegas. Also, TKO got paid a ton in site organization fees and tax credits from Vegas this year, so the feeling was they would have a stronger chance of replicating or making more than WrestleMania 41 than WrestleMania 41 week money going back to Vegas versus New Orleans. Oh god.
Uh,
I was open minded. I honestly was open minded about this. Obviously, I feel bad for the people that booked stuff for New Orleans.
mm,
But I said to myself, look, man, if this gets us our London Mania. Now I know a lot of people were worried about the Saudi Mania. I really wasn't, because Saudi's getting Rumble 2026. I mean, unless they
yeah,
went ahead and paid WWE like $8 billion, then obviously I'm sure WWE would do it. But I was like, oh well, being that
yeah,
Rumble's
right.
there, I do doubt that they're gonna bring Mania there as well, at least in the same year. I'm sure we're gonna see it eventually, but I didn't think
Oh,
2026.
okay.
My mind immediately went to London, because I was like, man, this is finally gonna be the fucking year we get the London Mania. So I'm keeping an open mind, and then we hear this bullshit, this crock of shit. WWE, dude. We are going to talk about a story here a little bit, and I am going to utter how proud I am of Tony Khan for fucking moving a show out of a venue that you have ran the market so dry of in
You
All
know,
Out.
oh, dude. Oh man, you know when a towel gets so dry it gets like fucking like solid,
I
because
I
it's so
I
fucking.
I I think that's I don't know what you've been doing with the towel, man. I think I don't
You never,
the
man. You know when
towel
you fucking
the
wash it too much and it starts fucking disintegrating.
I've never had it get solid. I
The
think you might be
kitchen
doing something else
towels,
with the towels.
you fucker. You goddamn creep. Nah, bro. That
It
shit.
might be what you're
That's
speaking
it.
about. I,
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, man.
I don't
But dog. What how is Tony Khan evolving more than WWE right now when it comes to show locations?
know.
Hey, you.
I'm sorry.
What a fucking.
You set it up perfectly, man. What am I supposed to do? So
You know what I meant, bro. Not that
I no, I know
douchebag
I
shit.
know what you mean. I definitely know I know what you mean for sure.
I hate you.
But hey, to each his own. But but oh god, where were we?
Taylor fucking
They
were we?
they oh yes, Tony Khan. Yes, we're gonna talk about All Out in a little bit. Where legit, I am so proud of Tony Khan for actually taking the step, and he did it this year with Double or Nothing, to take the step to move out of the fucking
Mm-hmm.
market, because you've ran the market so dry, and it's just I mean, man, it it is just for years we have talked about, god, he's got to move this out of All Out, he's got to move this all out, or he's got to move All Out of Chicago, he's got to move this out of Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
he's got to move this out of Vegas, he's got to move this out of Vegas, and he finally did it. And TKO, the people who are supposed to be smart, are attempting to run. Yeah, it's almost like they did this to piss me off because
Like,
I constantly talk about, God, I hate when they repeat venues. How are you going to go to a venue 4 years after you did the other one? And what do these fuckers go and do? They go
back to back.
a back-to-back year in Vegas. What? Dude. And Hunter mentions it. The Vegas crowd wasn't even
They were
that
ass.
wasn't even that fucking, I mean, it wasn't really nothing to fucking run home about.
No, it
Dude,
wasn't a special crowd at all. They actually underperformed, and a lot of the reaction to WWE thought they were gonna get like dog.
the Dominic reaction was better than the one that they planned for 3 months of a WrestleMania build with Jey Uso. Look, man. So, the other thing that's worth mentioning, they're looking at April 18th and 19th.
Uh,
Dude, what the fuck is the issue? First of all, you're in Las Vegas. Okay, you're not in, if you wanted to do later into April, to try to avoid weather, you better be coming back to Philadelphia or Chicago or New York
mm-hmm.
because you're in fucking Vegas. Just do it
It's
in
gonna be
early
nice.
April because it's going to be nice either way. Now, yet again, we're going to have to deal with this long, drawn out, overly
Mm-hmm.
long WrestleMania build. What is that? An extra 3 weeks of Mania build? Dude.
If they don't fucking spend wisely, that moves all the other things later in the year to a worse spot.
So, you know, not only are we looking at American shows to take place in the summer, if Mania is pushed back to this late in April, we're probably not getting a draft late in April. So we effectively are not learning from any of the fucking mistakes at all from this year. I know and they see the reaction to television right now just being fucking stale. Yet we're opting to do the same shit next year, so much as to repeat the Mania locations.
Like, let's piss off an already frustrated fan base with just, the state of like weekly television and general staleness of the booking. Let's piss off an already kind of irritated fan base by canceling a set WrestleMania location to repeat the last WrestleMania location solely for money. That's gonna get a great fucking fan reaction.
This is yeah, this is such a fucking weak move, man. I cannot stress how open-minded I was going into this, and when I heard that, I mean, it was like you took a fucking thumbtack and just pressed it right into the fucking balloon. I mean, it just
Oh yeah.
immediately just deflated me, dude. I was like, are you actually fucking kidding me? Are you actually kidding me right now? With these motherfuckers going back to Las Vegas for a second year in a row. Again, it's annoying when they go back 4 years after the fact. Here we
Like
are.
literally back to back.
That is a weak ass fucking move. That is a weak ass
Mhm.
move. Again, the crowd wasn't even all that. It honestly wasn't. Um, and it was overall, man. I mean, a lot of this year's WrestleMania. Um, I think a lot of fans want to move on from that. I think we want to move on from a lot of the underwhelming natures of this year's WrestleMania. Now, again, there was a lot of bright spots, but there was a lot of underwhelming qualities about this year's WrestleMania. Why you would ever run the same location back to back for a WrestleMania because you have a fucking good relationship with people is absolutely ridiculous, and it really just goes to show how much TKO simply just cares about money. They don't care about their fan
Yeah.
base. They don't care about making things fresh. They don't care about making things exciting. They don't care about it. They don't care about it. They simply just care about the dollar. And that's it.
Oh yeah.
And fuck, we thought Vince cared about the dollar.
I thought, dude, Vince's, in terms of like his businessman mindset, is nothing compared to TKO. And I thought he was the greedy asshole, but in his regime. And thinking about regimes, it's so unfortunate that Triple H, is kind of being associated with this because at the end of the day, he's just a fucking booker. No matter how stale his fucking television is right now,
Yeah.
he's not making this move. He's probably annoyed as well. To be honest, I'm sure he probably kind of is because
You know he
he's
is.
getting the negative reaction
Yep.
on the internet instead of even though it is mostly TKO, but they're throwing his name in the hat, and it's so funny because business wise, there was stuff, but it wasn't nearly as bad, under the Vince McMahon regime. But now it's totally opposite, where you know the morale and booking backstage is much more positive. It's much better under Triple H. But with the inclusion of TKO, the business side is the part that everybody gets annoyed at and really hates. And it's like you can't catch a fucking break. It's one or the other. You can never, nothing can just ever go right. Truly, man. And it's fucking unfortunate, man. And TKO, they're trying to run fucking WWE like McDonald's. Fucking, they're trying to make fast food wrestling, and it's fucking apparent that's what they're trying to do because they're running it like it's fucking Pepsi. Yeah, let's just do the cheapest bottle we can, and we'll make the cheapest label, and we'll raise the prices. Like, dude, this is an entertainment business you run. You're not running a product here. You're running an entertainment product. You have to put money into it to make it make money. You have to spend money to make money,
Hmm.
especially in entertainment. Dude, how much did they what Rockstar spent what around $1 billion so far developing GTA 6? They're gonna make probably three times as much back at least on launch. Because in the entertainment business, you got to spend money to make money. Like every fucking Marvel movie costs like fucking $300 million to make. I'm not saying you got to spend that much, but you got it. This is entertainment. You're not making fucking Pepsi bottles, and that's what TKO really thinks they're doing, and it's really harmful to their product, man. And another element that TKO is, unknowingly doing is pissing off the market. If I was a major city, i.e., like New Orleans, and I got my fucking WrestleMania pulled from a company because they just think somewhere else is going to make more money, you think I'm really going to want to work with them after that? I really wouldn't. I'll take, if it makes the town money, okay. I guess I'll take that money in the bank, but so good luck getting other people to negotiate with you because, what if you just pull their show from them too? It's not a good idea to keep trying to stay in the one location and pulling out of a planned event like you did here. I think it's going to really negatively impact their business talks with a lot of these fucking towns because I know I would be fucking wary if I was working with them.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, yeah, it is one thing that will ultimately, it is going to, it is going to. I mean, you look at, for the past year, we have talked and complained about the ticket prices. They
Mhm.
have already drove their fan base away with that whole situation. Now you again pissed off your fan base because yeah, there like I said, there's people that had things planned for WrestleMania 42 weekend. There are people that had that whole thing planned in ahead. Now they got to uproot and wait for you again. And we are, what, 10, 11 months away from the show. The one time you announce something early, like you did with Mania 42 this year, you throw it away. And again, yes, you have a great relationship and with people in Vegas. That's fucking fantastic. Do you want a cookie? What about all the other markets? I mean, again, I'm sure New Orleans would take it, future down the line, I'm not gonna say that they won't, because I'm sure they will. They know what's great for the city. But man, again, just for future, for future, reference, how is everybody else gonna feel? Well,
Yeah,
if we negotiate and set something in stone, who's to say that somebody doesn't come and sweep out from under me and you just cancel everything that we had to offer? It's really
yeah,
it's shitty. It's shitty, and it's so cutthroat. It's going to eventually alienate people. That's that
it is.
that's that that's what it is. That's what it is, man. And it just it is it is very, very shitty of them to uh not only just do that to the city of New Orleans, just to fucking go back to Vegas. um but it's really shitty of them to do to their fan base, because
Mhm.
again, for the people that were going, you have to cancel your stuff. And for the people that are watching at home, there's no freshness to it. It's Vegas WrestleMania again. Just like how every year we said, oh, All In's going to Wembley again next year. Oh, All Out's going to be in Chicago again. Oh, here's Double or Nothing. Where's it going to be? Las fucking Vegas. Um, and here TKO was doing it here again. Just very shitty. Very, very,
Mhm.
very shitty of them to uproot WrestleMania like that. And again, if you're gonna cancel New Orleans, do not cancel New Orleans for the place that you did last year. This year.
Like, because that was my initial thought. I was like, okay, they canceled New Orleans because probably something just came through at that moment. Let's say, if because at the moment I was assuming something like London. Oh shit, London opened up. Sorry, New Orleans, we got to do this now. We'll repay you guys back. We'll do 1 year, but this just opened. No, it's not that. It's literally just, you know what? That'll make more money. All right, pull that one, pull the car on that one. We'll do this one instead. It's like it's so scummy.
It is. It definitely is. It definitely is, man. But yeah. So that is the news on WrestleMania 42 and where it is going to possibly land. As of right now, again, Vegas looks like the front runner. Um,
Hmm.
ah, horrible, man, absolutely horrible. Also, too, you're not even taking into consideration, like, if there are fans on the East Coast, what what are they
What do we
supposed to
get?
do if they don't want to fly? Or maybe their idea was, well, maybe we don't want to pay for plane tickets, maybe there's going to be somewhere close enough for us to drive.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. Maybe eventually something gets close enough to make a road trip out of it.
no, you
No,
no, fuck your
no, you
road
can't.
trip, they said.
Exactly.
um because again, now you have to pay to fly in to Vegas, because again, you are y- man.
Fast food wrestling, man. That's what TKO's trying to do, and they're fucking trying, all right. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they are. They completely head scratching decision, man. Completely head scratching decision again. So for anybody on the East Coast, you again, it looks like you're gonna have to fly in, because you have no fucking option for making a road trip, or even just having something that's maybe in your town. Nothing.
No.
So yeah, that's that. That is that, and that is the news on WrestleMania being held. It looks, and now we've also heard the idea of Orlando possibly. I know we literally just read off that Orlando was looking to put in an $18 million bid for WrestleMania. So we are
Mhm.
hearing their name, but as of now, it looks like the front runner for Mania 42 back to Las Vegas. What a shitty move! What a shitty
What
move!
a fucking shitty ass move, man. And you know what? Dave, he was right about The Rock. So you know what? I'm gonna have some faith in these stories, man, and that shit's just wild to me.
Speaking of The Rock, that actually, that quite literally renders everything he came back for this whole
Oh, dude,
WrestleMania season as useless.
like they moved everything for him to be in this Vegas WrestleMania. Even making this WrestleMania Vegas in the first place is now obsolete because if you're just doing it again the next year, you should have just did it for 42 and did Minnesota for fucking 41, but literally made everything you did for like the past year obsolete after all that shit. Fucking wild.
This man came back, announced WrestleMania, that materialized in nothing. He came back, helped John Cena turn heel, never showed up at WrestleMania, that materialized in nothing in terms of his involvement. And yeah, stay. And I see some people saying, well, maybe it's gonna be in Vegas because Rock wants to make it up to the fans. At this point, just
Dog.
stay away. Just
Just
stay away.
there's no making it up, and if you were making it up, just fucking show up at whatever Mania is next. That's how you would fucking make it up. But at this point, like you said, just stay away. It's better if you just stay away. It literally.
It is. It is. It literally. It is. We're not done with Vegas because, according to PW Insider, WWE is expected to hold more major events annually in Las Vegas. Dude.
Way to fucking mark. They're gonna kill that market so fast, dude. So fucking fast.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
already dead. With the announcements alone, the market is dead.
You gotta be kidding me here. I mean, again, what can I say other than what we've said about AEW for the better part of 5 or 6 years now? If you continue to go back to a market over and over and over and over, you will kill the market.
Bleed it dry.
Why do you think, and now again, with my personal bias, would I love it? Sure. But why do you think why do you think I've never, clamored for, well, WWE should annually, at least once a year, hold a pay-per-view in Chicago? Well, why do you think I've never said that?
No, they don't
Because
have to.
the next time they come back, it will be
It's
special.
more special. Exactly. Oh shit. I haven't had a pay-per-view in Chicago in like, in a year, in 2 years. Fuck, probably gotta go to this one. That's literally the whole purpose of shuffling around pay-per-view locations.
Now, at least with WrestleMania, you have Taurus. If you're just holding
Exactly.
random events like random pay-per-views in Vegas, you will run the market dry. Look at Double or Nothing. I stress, your product will not be hot forever. You will dry
No.
out a market like that. I don't fucking get it, man. I do not get this obsession with Vegas. In the same breath, I do get it, though, because we see a lot of this from UFC. UFC runs
hmm
a lot of their shows in Las Vegas. But again, I stress, this is not the UFC. This is wrestling.
No. It's much different. It's the whole point of it is that you move it around. It travels. That's the whole point of it. And you're missing the whole point of the thing you bought.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I
No.
mean, they are they are setting themselves up for failure, man. And we always talk about it, but man, when when the door swings back and hits them in the fucking face, it's going to hit them fucking hard. Because your product will not be hot forever. So you might as well do as much as you can to keep it fresh by moving Mania locations and not holding annual bullshit for the sake of holding annual bullshit. That is your news on WrestleMania. That is your news on Las Vegas. That is your news on all this WrestleMania related stuff. Crazy work. Crazy fucking work by WWE. I cannot lie to you, man. But what can you say other than,
Yeah,
again, they are setting themselves up for failure. They are.
they're gonna be shocked when the fucking market fucking crashes.
They really are. They already are not on they already are not on, and what's crazy is, the thing is with WWE, their ticket sales are great, yet their fans are still upset, but they still come out because the product's good. When the product falls off, your fans are not going to have that same eagerness to, well, I gotta go because they're in a hot period and I want to be there to see it.
Dude, once that products gets cold, dude, they're really gonna be in for one, dude.
Hmm. I don't understand, bro. I really don't understand. Um, so that is the news on Mania and all that jazz. Um, Speaking of The Rock, actually, according to Deadline, Dwayne Johnson will star in a new psychological thriller, Breakthrough, for A24. Again, a lot of fans are a lot of this I've seen this as upsetting a lot of people because they are saying, "Oh, he's not going to come back. Damn it. The Rock's not going to
No
be
way.
back." Um
Rock.
the Rock comes back when it's convenient for him. He got that bonus because he joined the TKO board of directors, and I believe what we heard was it was a $7 or $8 million bonus if he worked Mania 40, and he worked Mania 40.
Yeah, that's why. Plus, Black Adam did horribly, so he had to come back for a little bit. He had to fucking take a break from the movie scene for a tad bit to fucking escape the heat from Black Adam fucking bombing. And now he's doing movies that people seem to be interested in. The Smashing Machine, this thriller. So of course he's fucking back in movies. It's The Rock.
So, yeah, I mean, again, um, I hope the movie does well. I hope the movie does well. I've seen a lot of people saying he hasn't really done a psychological thriller, so this is a bit of a new role for him. I hope he does well. As for him coming back again after everything that transpired this year, I really, I honestly, I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I do not care, because the next time I do see him, all that's going to be in the front of my mind is, you're coming back for nothing. You're coming back to
Mhm.
create substance now, and it's going to materialize into absolutely nothing. So,
Exactly. You're pouring your soda into your glass and you're just letting it get flat and you're never gonna drink it. So why the fuck are you even open the fucking can of soda? So
basically,
it's pointless. You can't get hype over them anymore.
yep. So, speaking of movies, his cousin, Roman Reigns, according to Deadline, is in talks to star in the live action Street Fighter movie. Reigns is considered to play Akuma in the live action movie.
Look at that.
Um, it's pretty cool. I'm sure this means he's gonna go on another month-long vacation. Um, but
No way.
he is, yeah, no, we're no strangers to that. Um, so yes, looks like Roman is being considered for a movie role. It's not to say he's going to get it, but he is being considered for it. So I'm sure he will be mysteriously taken out by the Seth Rollins group very, very shortly to, I guess, write him off of television again. So yeah, so yeah, Roman being considered for a, Is this his first movie since he threw the thing at the cameraman? In Hobbs and Shaw?
Whatever whatever happened to that fucking movie where he was playing the
Oh,
villain?
yes, there was a
I was thinking
movie.
about
There was what was that? That was with the guy that Keanu
oh, yeah, Keanu Reeves?
yes, Keanu Reeves, that's his name.
Mm,
Yeah, that was that movie, right?
I don't know if he was in that movie. I don't remember what that movie was, but I
He was like
remember
a
hearing about it.
he was like some boss and like some mob boss and like a bank heist or something. I did,
It was
yes.
something like that.
Forgot about that. Okay, so I don't know whatever happened to the movie, but it looks like this will be his first role since then, which I believe that might have been 2023. That whole thing happened. So
Damn, dude, what
yeah,
happened to that movie?
I wonder. I wonder. Um. So yeah, Roman and Rock both. Well, Rock is confirmed for the movie. Roman being considered for the movie. Um. So who knows when Roman will return or when he will go away again, but I'm sure it will be soon. We actually did hear that he is going to be back in early June, so around Money in the Bank.
Mm,
Which leads me to our next topic. Because according to PW Insider, there has been a pitch for John Cena, Travis Scott, and Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes and the Usos at Money in the Bank on June 7th. Whether whether or not WWE goes in that direction remains to be seen.
That that's the other shit that TKO has been doing that's been pissing people off, dude. Like, holy hell. What?
Celebrities up the ass.
Dude, every week, fucking this
That is true.
person gets a segment on TV. This person is in the crowd. Oh my god. Oh, let's put this person in the ring for a segment. Oh, let's waste one of John Cena's final matches tag teaming with Travis Scott. Dog.
And now Logan Paul. Way to make it even fucking better.
Way to, way to add shit to the fucking pile, dog. What? And why the fuck is Cody teaming with the Usos? Yeah, I'm even more confused about the babyface side. What the fuck? With that scenario, what beef do the Usos have with Cena or Travis Scott? Why? Even
I
Logan Paul. Why would the Usos be involved in that?
I I guess WWE would somehow finagle the Jey Uso and Logan Paul feud into this, but all these guys are on separate brands. How does this make sense? Cody and Cena are on SmackDown, Jimmy's on SmackDown, Jey and Logan are on Raw, and Travis Scott is you shouldn't even be in a wrestling ring. I don't care
No.
how amped up he got to be a part of John Cena's heel turn. Do you know how much it bugs me that John Cena's last WrestleMania, he was in the ring celebrating with Travis fucking Scott? Do you know how, honestly, how much that bugs me that that's history? That's fucking
Oh yeah.
history now. Yet, again, we are waiting for John Cena to have a final farewell match with Travis Scott and a tag team with him. Are you, and now you want to add Logan Paul to somehow make this shit sandwich that much better? What is that for a farewell match? What, honestly? What is that?
Like, oh yeah, man. The fucking Stone Cold retiring, man. Let's have him team with Eminem for fucking in a fucking one of his final matches. Like, dude, why would you ever fucking do like think about what you're doing to your audience?
Man, I that is I don't even know anymore. Again, this is This is why your fan base is annoyed, and this is why your fan base is praying to God that these NBA playoffs go as long as they possibly can. Um, I can't say as to specifically who thinks that, but um,
I wonder who.
this shit is this this shit. This is our summer. This is what we have to hear this summer. Remember a couple summers ago when we were talking about how this is going to London, or this is going to Puerto Rico, this is going to France, this is going to summer 2025. This is what we have to talk about. John Cena and fucking Travis Scott and Logan Paul teaming with Cody, or facing Cody Rhodes teaming with the Usos. What? One guy is a world champion and the other guy is a world champion. And this is what we're doing with our world champions.
We're putting them in this shit.
And why isn't Jay somewhat involved with the whole Rollins and Breaker thing?
Yeah, also, way to fucking shaft your new fucking mainstay faction in the company by there's not going to be, a 6 man of like that faction with their whoever the third man is versus the babyface side. No, nothing to do with that. They're not so far in the general plans to Money in the Bank. They're not involved in the pay-per-view at all. Your biggest thing on Raw isn't involved in Money in the Bank so far at all. You're planning to put their opponents involved in a fucking celebrity match that also involves John Cena's one of his final matches. Good lord.
You've got to be kidding me, bro. You've got to be fucking kidding me, man. I mean, what an underwhelming summer for WWE. I mean, my god. My god. Yeah, this is this is not it, man. This is not it. I mean, again, the amount of just celebrity stuff we already see on a weekly basis. Here we are with this Travis Scott bullshit again. All the time. All literally since probably the beginning of the year, since the whole thing with Netflix, every week, celebrities, this, that. Tyrese
Hmm.
Halliburton was just on Monday Night Raw. WWE, trust me, Tyrese Halliburton is making the summer more intriguing than your product at the moment with his
Oh, dude,
with this series against the Knicks. I mean, uh,
I'm not
worry
I'm not
about
even an
yourself.
NBA guy, and the fucking tweets about him from NBA fans are fucking hilarious. I've been fucking dying at them.
Well, I'm sure
Like
you were
they,
saying he recreated like an old taunt that Reggie Miller
yeah.
did against the Knicks back in the 90s. So that was getting memed like a mug. But yeah,
And dude, the fucking shit they were calling that man was fucking hilarious. Dude, what is this celebrity involved? Like, bro, why did he have a whole segment? You could have literally just tweeted that out that he was going to be in the game. You could have, and then you could have just had Michael Cole read that tweet in between a fucking segment and called it a day.
I mean, I don't mean to say this again, but we thought fucking Vince was bad with this celebrity shit. And
Like,
I'm not even trying to say I
oh no,
love the Vince administration, because we all
no,
know I fucking hated it, but dude, I mean,
he wasn't
holy
this bad.
shit. And like you
Again,
just
like.
said, in the Vince administration, what would have happened was they would have showed a tweet and Michael Cole would have just read the tweet off.
Yeah, exactly. And again, people are now trying to say they missed that fucking regime. If you missed that,
Yeah,
good God, your brain is fucking fried. I get you're mad at the product right now, but holy hell, that shit was dog shit. Um,
no, for
so
sure.
no, I don't fucking miss that regime. But like looking back, it's like dog. Even that psychopath wasn't this bad when it came to the
Like
celebrity
overkill.
and
Yeah.
financial involvement. I thought he was a greedy asshole. And again, he is, but they're putting him to shame with the greedy asshole fucking levels.
All right, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh god.
But let's keep the snowball rolling. Goldberg. Goldberg, man. Bell. Bell. I will steal that exact sentence except replace F1 with NBA.
Oh,
Legit.
dude.
Like
I
legit.
I am so glad that second season of Andor came out when it did, dude,
Yeah,
because holy fuck was that a Solence.
yeah.
Oh my god. It was so nice just watching something. I was interested, and
That
it was an episodic show that kept me fucking interested each
nah,
episode.
no, for sure. That's
Oh,
how I felt with Sinners too,
dude,
because
exactly.
because it's just something to get excited about, something that I could be like, or Elite or Thunderbolts even when we fucking went and
Yeah.
seen that. It's like it's just nice to watch something and sink my teeth into it because there's just nothing to fucking sink my teeth into right now. There's just nothing. I watched Monday Night Raw. The Rollins group is all right, but then I'm just sitting there fucking scared that they're gonna turn Sami Zayn heel. You know, CM Punk wasn't even on the show until the last 5 minutes of Monday Night Raw. Jay Uso's he's in a fucking feud with Logan Paul. Gunther's doing good stuff, but then the Jacob Fatu side of things, I'm being told to let it play out. Meanwhile, it's just
It,
they planted
it,
seeds for something at Backlash. They made it evident he didn't like somebody, and on SmackDown they just don't acknowledge that at all. What then?
exactly.
He's just out
And
there
and
cutting this, cutting all gas, no. What the? What am I sinking my teeth into here?
there's no week to week thing to watch for the next week half the time with WWE. Oh, what am I gonna wait for next week? The same Judgment Day segment. What am I gonna wait for? The same, solo Jacob Bloodline segment next week. It's you're gonna get the same thing week by
Yeah,
week. And what Bell mentioned in the comments is true. WWE is underwhelming, and AEW, they're just uninteresting for the most part. For the most part, I just don't care what's gonna happen on Dynamite next week. They have the Hurt Syndicate, and they have Will Ospreay and Hangman. But other than that, holy shit, I literally do not care what anybody else is doing on that show. Genuinely, not a care in the world. And it's like, dog, can somebody get a grip? Can somebody make weekly wrestling television good?
man, I
Fuck.
um, uh, uh, man, dude. Okay, so Goldberg. Sources spoken to this week state that Goldberg's WWE retirement match has been tentatively planned to take place in Atlanta, Georgia. It is worth noting AEW will be running an event all in Texas. The same day, WWE will be running a Saturday night's main event from Atlanta, Georgia. It is unknown and remains to be seen whether that will be the date for his retirement match or not. I actually, dude, I know it's Goldberg, and I don't want to see this WrestleMania match, or I don't want to see this retirement match. Anyways, Saturday night's main event would probably be the
It's
perfect place
perfect.
to fucking do that, to be honest.
It's your it's your retro show. He's a retro old guy. I don't care about, Saturday night's main event. I don't care about Goldberg. It aligns perfectly, dude. It really does. And
Yeah,
what would I rather watch that weekend? Fucking All In or Goldberg? You guys are making this one easy on me. Like, way
please.
to make the fucking decision easy, and let me choose All In, bro. But I actually, like you said, I think that's the perfect spot. Not only because I wouldn't have to really watch it, but it really just is actually the perfect spot for him anyway. The retro show, his retirement. He's not that important of a guy. You don't need to put it on a real pay-per-view. I think it fucking aligned perfectly.
Yeah. So, um, speaking of more talent in WWE, we got some praise. We got some praise for Damian Priest. As according to PW Insider, as of late, there has been a lot of talk amongst WWE marveling at the toughness of Damian Priest shown in recent months, despite being very banged up over the course of his feud with Drew McIntyre.
And something I saw today, and it makes we always kind of like talk about like LA Knight and Damian Priest, because one should be in one's position.
Yep.
Tonight, wrestling, they got that qualifying match with LA Knight tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight will make the 10th straight week in a row that LA Knight wrestled on SmackDown. Where's his praise?
I was gonna say, I just heard a story about Drew McIntyre. Can barely even turn his head because
Yeah,
his head's been bothering him. Where is his praise? As a matter of fact, didn't he wrestle with a fucked up elbow last year?
yeah. They're like, where's Drew's praise? Where's LA Knight's praise? Where's half these fucking rosters? For you're praising a guy that isn't. He's not worth it, dude.
Listen,
It's literally the. Go ahead.
listen, Damien. This is this is you know this is completely personal. Okay,
Oh shit.
um, I don't care. All right, that's all I got.
Oh, oh, huh. Yeah, how captivating. Um,
No,
you
no.
gotta
To
be
be
more
honest,
captivated than Damian
I'm,
Priest.
I'm. They're marveling at your toughness. I'm not.
I don't care.
I don't care.
It,
He's completely uninteresting on television. He is. I mean, dude. There's 90% of the other roster that does what he does and don't get the praise.
Yeah, and he's the guy in class where a couple people got an A, but the teacher's favorite got an A. So the teacher's gonna be like, this whole class should be like said person. Everyone needs to be like him if you want to have a good future. He's the teacher's pet. He's getting praise for something that everybody else does. He's literally the teacher's pet, bruh. I'm sorry, I can't get into him. It feels like I'm watching in terms of company involvement like I'm watching 2017 Roman Reigns. Um, it really does. At least Roman had the factor of, oh, you just got to turn this guy heel and he'll work. With Damian Priest, it's not going to work. Nothing's going to work because they love a guy that is not that good. I'm fucking sorry. He's not that good.
Yeah,
And the fact that they love him so much makes him worse to watch.
there was a bunch of people in WWE in 2016 that got praise from the fans, but they never got praise from the company because they loved Roman Reigns. Like, if you look at the guys around that 2016-17 era that were doing really well, Bray, AJ, The Miz, fucking Dolph Ziggler, Samoa Joe, all those guys were getting universally praised by the fans, but the company didn't really give a shit because all they fucking cared about was how awesome Roman Reigns was and how he's just so great and he's the next guy. That's what it feels like with Damian Priest, man. I mean, look, you're working banged up. Look, props to you. Honestly, that takes a
Yeah,
lot
no,
of toughness. Your job is not easy, right? You're essentially throwing yourself at the ground for a living. It's not easy. But again, where is these stories about hearing them marveling with the universal praise for LA Knight or for Drew
fuck Kevin Owens.
McIntyre or for Kevin Owens or Gunther, right? Where is the universal praise for these guys? You had this poor man drop his title via tap out to Jey Uso. Where is the marveling for Gunther? I mean, get out of here with this, bro. He's not him. Please.
Chad Chad Gable
Oh
has
my
fucking
god.
got fucking dog food for the last fucking 2 years, and he makes fucking gourmet fucking meals out of it. Where's his fucking praise? Like, dude, where is everybody else's praise that
That's
this
another
fucking
great
guy
example.
gets?
Yes, Chad is another great
Dude,
example.
you give this man dog food every time, and he turns that dog food into fucking 5-star Gordon Ramsay shit every time.
And
Where's his fucking praise?
and dude, and the worst part is we need new people in the main event scene. We do.
Yeah. We need it. I want a guy to move up into that scene like a Chad Gable. That's like an
Like
LA
LA
Knight.
Knight.
These are
Yep.
people I want to see in that scene.
I
Ugh.
mean, well, they're marveling at Damian Priest. Give me a fucking break. This guy's completely uninteresting, man. I mean, his fucking entrance jacket has more charisma than he does. I mean, get out of here. Speaking of praise, Chelsea Green has been routinely praised internally within WWE over the last several months. Green has cultivated a positive reputation for her willingness to jump in and do any media needed for the company as well as any other events.
I mean, again, she's actually, she's really good. I like
She
Chelsea,
is.
but like, Chad Gable's been doing that for the
Yeah,
past three
bro.
fucking years.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
LA
Like,
Knights were doing
now
it.
Chelsea
God.
makes a little bit of sense, but two,
Yeah.
where are these stories about these other people, man? And again, this is the reason these stories annoy me is not necessarily just because the people we're hearing about Chelsea and Damian, but just I want to hear these about or Karrion Cross. Where
Karrion
is his
Cross.
praise for captivating people?
Even like Penta. The man's been fucking. I think he damn near wrestles every week on fucking Raw.
He
The
does, yeah.
fans love him. He's. What about him? Like, what about fucking Andrade? You put this man taking his fucking glasses off every week, and he fucking does it, and the people still want to see more of the guy. Where's his praise? Carmelo Hayes is with the Miz.
Well,
Dog.
that's that's good
And
television.
it's actually kind of interesting. That's the fucking worst part of it. It's interesting.
I would
Like,
probably say it's Oz Helium.
okay, he killed it. Um, but like, dude, he is with the Miz, and I'm actually still interested in what's going on with those two. Where's their praise?
MIA.
And literally gone. They don't get it.
Where's your praise for Sheamus?
God, but Ludwig even, man, really, people really want to see him move up as a singles guy. And he kind of grew on me overall, and then you just stopped using him. Like what? What is the mindset here?
Damian Priest, bro. They love him.
Fucking Damian Priest, dog. For Damian Priest, I, dude, man, way to give me a grudge against somebody.
He's the guy, man. He's the guy.
He's the guy. Fucking
Speaking of
hell.
Sheamus, according to PW Insider, there has been rumblings of a Rusev versus Sheamus program being pitched for the Raw brand.
You know, on paper that's really cool and that's dope, but like neither guy I kind of want to fucking lose. So
Yes,
what are
that
you
is true.
doing? Which like you can make Sheamus bounce back from that again, but like how many times do I have to say that? Oh, they'll bounce back from that. Oh, they'll bounce back from that. When it's the same person constantly, like a Chad Gable, like an LA Knight, where every time they'll bounce back for that. It gets tiring.
It does. It does. But you do need to put Rusev in there with somebody who's legit because I don't know how much longer I could deal with him dabbling around with Otis and Tozawa. And I do think Sheamus is probably a good start. Sheamus is probably somebody who can get over his just I guess bruteness. Because
Mm-hmm.
Sheamus hits hard. I feel like Rusev coming back from that will kind of get it over to the audience that he is tough.
Yeah.
So I think this would be a good start. But going back to what you said, I can't necessarily disagree with everything you said, man. Because again, how many times do guys like Sheamus or Chad Gable have to play gatekeeper before, in Sheamus's case, before they finally give this man the IC title that he's been chasing for years, right? And it looks like in terms of babyface gatekeeper, Sheamus could be the guy ever since Chad Gable turned heel. But nah, overall, man, I do think though that this is a good. I think this will be a good start because again, You'd need to
Mhm.
eventually put Rusev in there with guys that are legitimate. Of the Otis and Tozawa. Otis and Tozawa is a start, but you know those guys ultimately are not going to catapult and help him the same way Braun Strowman helped Bronson Reed. You know what I mean? If Bronson Reed was stuck feuding with Alpha Academy for 2 months, then it would have done nothing. But they had to have put him in there with a guy like Braun to sort of just get his style or get his aura, I guess, over. And that's what you need with Rusev. So I get it. It makes
Most
sense.
definitely. Exactly.
Well, speaking of getting over, the Wyatt Six. So this was a couple days ago. We do have an updated report, but according to a report from PW Insider, as of mid-May 2025, the faction's return to the road has yet to be determined. According to Mike Johnson, he says no updates on the Wyatt Six returning to the road as I write this. The Wyatt Six made a memorable debut on WWE television, drawing quick attention, and after going away in December of 2024, they have yet to be seen. Well, today we heard that, again, according to PW Insider, there have been new creative pitches for the Wyatt Six, and there has been talk that the group may finally return to the SmackDown brand sooner than you think.
Ugh.
Um,
Okay. You're gonna return them. They're gonna show up as a silhouette, and we're not gonna see them for a fucking another month and a half. In the shortest. It,
either that, or we're going to get these godforsaken QR codes.
dude, if we get a QR code tonight, I'm done. I'm genuinely done. I give up on WWE with them.
I, 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 I don't understand. I'm gonna be happy to see him back. I'm gonna be happy to see him back, but I'm going to be more scared that we're gonna fuck it. We're gonna fuck this whole thing up again. I mean, that's
Hmm.
at the end of the day that is front and center for me. I'm truly terrified that they're gonna fuck it up. They're gonna fuck it up. I know they're gonna fuck it up. Bo Dallas is gonna come back with his Heisenberg mask, and with his long weave that he's gonna have to be fucking patting it out throughout the match, and that's gonna be what this group is. They're gonna add Alexa Bliss
Yep.
to the group probably, yet they're still gonna have Bo Dallas wrestling with this fucking mask, and they're just gonna be nothing more than just a silhouette.
That's all they're gonna be. That's all WWE is gonna allow them to be at the end of the day, man. And it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to hear that their name is at least being brought up. I don't know why they weren't brought up the SmackDown after WrestleMania, being that that's where returns and debuts and all that kind of stuff happens on. No, let's just do it in the middle of the fucking summer, I guess. This group has almost been around for a year, and they have done nothing but be
Nothing.
silhouettes and stand in fucking fog.
What a fucking way to fucking use them.
Everybody called us fucking crazy. Everybody called us assholes. All that type of thing. The first time we seen Uncle Howdy wrestle, we talked about all these scares and possibilities of how this can go wrong. We were called the bad guys,
Hmm.
and everything we fucking said came true. Everything we
Yeah.
said came true.
literally everything we said came true. That I was excited and I loved what they did, but this tribute group is just going to be a silhouette. They're not going to use them properly, and what we said exactly happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just I don't know how to, I really I have no faith. I'm just honest to God, man. I have absolutely no faith.
Hmm.
Zoe Stark. Zoe is obviously injured this past Monday on Raw. She went for her missile drop kick and completely bent her knee out of whack. We have an update on Zoe. According to Fightful, those spoken to backstage in WWE say that they are preparing not to have Zoe Stark for the remainder of the year.
That sucks, dude. I really hope when she gets to come back, they really use her.
You know, obviously injuries suck, and her injury in this case, if it's going to keep her out for the remainder of the year, you're looking at 7 months plus. Could be a blessing in disguise, because if WWE does want to do anything with her, they can bring her back, do a full, complete, clean sweep of presentation, completely bring her back with a new presentation and a new aura, and just try to, you know, just return her with a blank page. You know what I mean? And that could be a good thing. That could be a good thing if they ever did want to use her. If they don't want to use her, and if they really don't have any sort of plan with her, they're probably just going to randomly bring her back, and nothing will have really changed or anything. So I hope so, because obviously Zoe's great, and it really sucks that this happened to her, man, and it really sucks that you're looking at this long of a recovery time. But you know, hopefully this means that WWE can try to bring her back in a more effective way than they were using her now.
I really hope so. I really hope they can put some effort into using her and presenting her well, dude.
Well, speaking of being presented well, Vikingo.
Mm.
According to Fightful, El Hijo del Vikingo is planned to be a huge part of the WWE and AAA partnership moving forward.
I think that was most people's consensus is if they're gonna have like the guy from AAA, it was gonna be Vikingo. So I'm
For
glad to
sure.
hear it, but it's kind of what I expected out of this, which I'm glad.
Yes, yeah. This is absolutely this is not a shock to anybody, man. You can just tell. I mean, this guy was featured on WrestleMania this year. You
He
can
was. He
tell.
was literally featured.
Yeah, you can tell, and you already know he's going to be a huge part of WWE and AAA. I'm sure we're going to eventually see him pop up in NXT. Whenever Sean needs a main event for one of his pay-per-views, they can slot Vikingo in there, and he will absolutely wow people, whilst also almost breaking his neck in the process. But he's going to wow people nonetheless. But yeah, I mean, this is this is very very I guess apparent as to what the idea of Vikingo was. So yeah.
Almost definitely. It's good.
JC,
JC.
my man JC, according to Uncle Dave and the Uncle Dave Chronicles on the Wrestling Observer newsletter, he is reporting that WWE considered renaming Jeff Cobb to JC Matanza in a callback to Cobb's time as Matanza Cueto on Lucha Underground. Cobb was not a fan of the Matanza name. However, WWE ultimately went with JC Mateo instead.
Damn. That sucks. I mean, it's good they didn't go with the name that he didn't want. that is good at the end of the day. But like, damn, I thought that was fire.
Yeah, I am actually shocked to hear he did not like the name Matanza. I don't know what's wrong. What is wrong with the name Matanza?
What
It's
was?
sounds pretty cool.
Well, yeah, what was the last name again in Lucha
Uh,
Underground?
Matanza Cueto. He was the brother for the on-screen brother for Dario Cueto, I believe.
Cueto could have been a cool last name. They could have went with too, JC Cueto. I would have liked that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound bad. Honestly, either of those
I think
sound
the week
better
is
than
funny.
Mateo. I was gonna say out of Cueto or JC Matanza, I just thought
That was
sounded
perfect.
awesome. I
I thought
thought
that
that
was
one.
perfect.
But yeah, kind of shocked to hear that he did not like the name Matanza. Again, I don't know what's wrong with the name Matanza, but they went with JC Mateo. Um, and
JC.
uh
JC. That would have been wild. That would have been a lawsuit bill.
that would have yeah that would have not 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 they did not name him Jay-Z Mateo. But
TKO
yeah,
really would have went to Vegas for that money at that point. They would have had to.
probably but yeah, yeah, to be honest, man, I said it on Monday, but or it's either Monday or last Friday, but or it was Monday. Yeah, it was
It was
Monday.
Monday.
I probably would have went. I think I told you that
You told me
last
that
Friday
Friday.
when we
Mm-hmm.
found out. I thought Jay Z fucking Bell. I thought JC Matanza would have been a really sick name. But yeah, honestly, in my honest opinion, like I said on Monday, we're gonna get used to JC Mateo, but JC Matanza to me was the better option.
To me, it was too, and I'm really shocked that he didn't like it.
Yeah. So because he would have been able to keep the JC Jeff Cobb logo, while
Mm-hmm.
also having a pretty cool last name in Matanza. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought it was dope. I thought it was dope,
I thought
man.
it
But
was dope.
I guess it's not what he liked. But with Jeff Cobb being signed, or JC Mateo being signed, WWE went out to or WWE is looking out to sign some more people. As according to Cultaholic, WWE are in the process of signing Mike D. Vecchio and Egil Blanc. They are expected to start with the company by September. As according to Corey Brennan of Fightful, WWE also has significant interest in signing Zozaya.
Hmm.
WWE are pursuing him following his tryout with the company. Those spoken to close to Zozaya mentioned that he is finishing up university in June. It is believed by sources any talent signed from the tryout will begin with WWE by September. I have never heard of either of these three, but I'm interested to see what they all do, and I'm interested to see what they do upon arrival to the company. From the pictures in these articles, they all look pretty young, so I'm assuming they'll be on NXT, and I don't
Mm-hmm.
envision they're all big enough names to go straight to the main roster. So I'm interested to see what they can do with them.
Most definitely, very interested, and probably one of the only times I'm going to say this, but get those new WWE names written down because God, I've never actually seen people need fucking WWE original names.
Egil
Good lord,
Blanc,
Angle Blanc. That sounds like one of their shitty made up names. So like,
Egil,
just give them one of your stupid made up names because Blanc is a crazy ass name.
Mike D. Vecchio.
Mike, dude, they literally sound like they're the fucking Shawn Michaels made up names, which I don't know if it's Shawn. Also, I was thinking about that. I want to know who makes those fucking names for these people, because I don't think it's like the actual like main bookers. Who is their creative name guy? I gotta see this dude.
Man. Yeah,
Because the shit they come up with half the
yeah,
time, Brinley Reese. I gotta see the man who came up with that, bro. I'm sorry.
you're not fucking with Brinley Reese?
That is a fucking
Br-
name.
Bronco Nima. What the
Fucking
fuck?
Lucine Price.
What
Like,
was
dude,
the oh, what was
what is
the
some of the guys?
oh Jasper Troy.
Oh,
Jasper.
Jaquan Sugars. Like, dude, who is naming people this?
Man. So yes, hopefully they all get new WWE names. These names are a bit odd. So hopefully WWE puts their stamp on them and do not name them anything close to Eagle Blanc.
Hulk is crazy, dog.
Speaking of that, speaking of these guys possibly going to NXT, speaking of a different version of NXT that was talked about many years ago, according to PW Insider, there has been talk internally that WWE is lining up things to finally launch NXT Europe later this year.
They're never gonna learn. Dude,
They, they,
you
then
have them
again,
all.
I believe all three of these guys are from the UK scene. So they could be guys
Mm,
that they want a part of NXT Europe. Um hey man, Triple H, bro. He I believe he showed us this a couple years ago when he was talking about branching NXT
oh,
out to all these certain things.
that that world map he showed where like
Yes,
every country had its fucking version of NXT.
NXT
God, that
Mexico,
sounds amazing.
NXT Australia, NXT
You
Japan, NXT Europe.
good luck trying in Japan, bro. If you ain't striking a deal with one of those companies, your company ain't getting off the ground. I'm gonna tell you that much. Gonna send a Winter Soldier after you.
So I don't. Again, man, I don't really know. I don't really know how much this is gonna work. Again, your WWE is already kind of took everybody. I feel like that was a big name on the UK on the UK scene, which is when WWE goes back here for NXT Europe. I'm interested to see who they grab or who I guess is good over there. Because WWE went over there when that shit was popping. You
Yeah,
had,
and
you had Jordan Devlin, you had Walter, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne, Trent Seven, Gallus. I mean, you had
a
Killian
shit
Dane.
ton of people.
You had
Dragon.
you like legit everybody was over there. They kind of taken everybody, and we don't really hear about a lot of big names from over there
UK.
over in the UK indie scene anymore. So I'm very interested to see exactly who they get to be the big names a part of this, man. But yeah, I mean Triple H, it looks like he is continuing with his world domination, like he's fucking playing a Call of Duty campaign. Um
He really is.
but yeah, it looks like NXT Europe is finally coming into fruition. And like I said, a lot of these guys that the three guys that we just talked about, I believe, are in the UK scene. So they could be guys not headed for NXT. They could be headed for NXT Europe. So
Which, to me, those are the international versions of like NXT and the developmentals they want to make outside the country never really made sense because that's the point of the PC. You get people from all around the world into the one location, the PC, and you have them all train under the same roof. that's kind of like the whole point. I think when that was the overall system that produced some of the best talents out of that system. So I really don't know why they try to expand it so much. I think you're stretching it too thin, and I don't think it's gonna work out in the end. They keep every like 3 years they fucking announce NXT Europe, and then it never happens. And
Yeah.
I don't want it to happen if I'm being honest, because I think you're doing too much. You have Evolve, you have NXT, you have Level Up. Wait, did they get rid of Level Up?
Mm-hmm. They did.
Okay, they did. But you have Evolve. I don't think you guys need that.
Yeah. And two, my, my whole thing with NXT Europe is WWE. Doesn't WWE like own a stake in Progress? Why don't you just
It's
kind of
huge
use
progress.
like it's like we just talked about this with AAA, like, oh, WWE's thinking about renaming AAA to NXT Mexico. Why don't you just fucking use these
But
company names that are already set in stone? I don't
we
understand
can
why we like we get you're owned by WWE. Not everything has to be NXT, insert name.
And like I said, with back when we cover that story and why they shouldn't do that AAA, use progress. Don't name it NXT Europe. And the progress that people make, ironically, the progress people make in said companies will feel better than if they make it under the NXT brand, if that makes sense. I think you should really keep those things by their own identities, and I think it'll work out better in the end.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So yeah, I mean that is the latest on NXT Europe. So whether it is finally going to come to fruition or not remains to be seen. Something that needs to be coming into fruition is a 2-hour SmackDown broadcast. However, I think USA has other plans. Because according to PW Insider, internally, the USA Network has SmackDown listed for 3-hour episodes in early June. The original plan for the show was to return to a 2-hour broadcast in the summer. Oh, man. Oh,
Dog.
wow.
The, that's what you needed the draft for, to make the 3 hour SmackDown work. And you're gonna extend 3 hour SmackDown with this same roster. The show's not working. Do you not see it every week? Do you not see the random bullshit every week to fill up these 3 hours, dude? Literally, besides like three, four things maybe, what happens on SmackDown that warrants 3 hours of television? Why does it have more TV time than fucking Raw with less people?
uh, uh, this dude, I don't know. I don't see. Something just told me that USA would pull some shit like this because obviously they were the whole reason Monday Night Raw was never able to leave 3 hours because they loved, all the ad revenue that WWE brought them because they had a 3-hour broadcast and they could run a shit ton of ads across 3 hours. And something told me, obviously now that they lost Raw, that they would try to do this with SmackDown. And here we are. And it looks like this show could possibly be staying at 3 hours. Dude, I don't know what you think you have going on this show, but it is not worth 3 hours. This show is such a bore every single week. Now, I'll give it to him. Last week, that's the kind of shit we need to see from SmackDown.
Hmm.
Last week's episode of SmackDown had great wrestling mixed with, overall some pretty good stories in there. There was a little stuff that was there was some stuff that was kind of wonky, but it was overall a decent episode. And we've been seeing decent episodes with the episode with the TLC match on it. That was pretty good. But as a
Hmm.
weekly thing, this show is just not built and it does not have the star power for a 3 hour for 3 hours of television. It just does not. And every single week I feel you hear people talking about how much of a fucking bore SmackDown is at 3 hours. Not a good move in my honest opinion, man. And yeah, like I said, just a risky and ballsy move from WWE and from USA to keep this show that people have been complaining about. Even WWE has been complaining about this show being at 3 hours, and you're gonna keep it there, and the show is just, it's just gonna continue to be a bore. I mean, are you trying to burn your audience out? It makes me,
They
because and you're already seeing the shit, dude, with like, you're already seeing this shit with how clogged, what did we just hear? They can't do a draft because their calendar is so clogged, right? You got WrestleMania, then right after Mania you got Backlash, then the Evolution, Saudi show, Saturday Night's Main Event, all these different Saturday Night's Main Event shows, this, that. Are you trying to burn your fans out? Because I'm
oh yeah.
starting to think you are. And this was a problem with WWE getting hot and trying to give an overabundance of the product. You're going to burn
Oh,
people
yeah.
out.
Look, look what happened to Marvel. That it got to a point where there would be a show. It would end. A week later, a new show would be on weekly. Nobody wants to watch shit 24/7, dude. It gets tiring. People got burnt out. Thunderbolts, they got lucky that I'm not to use wrestling terms, that fucking movie got over because people are really interested to see what's next. There was a really dead period for like 2 years, 3 years where really no one really cared about Marvel. Look, and you're doing it to yourself. You're stretching yourself too far, and you just got too much going on. People are gonna get burnt out. People are already burnt out.
Yep. And this was, again, this is the problem with, oh, we're hot, we need to capitalize. So let's give them all this different type of content, going to burn people out. Because again, when the product's good, hell, we're loving the overabundance of stuff, right? Because man, everything's great. We got all these shows coming up, the product's hot. Then you get to a point like now where shit is not so hot and there's an overabundance of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And again, everybody's burnt out. Bell's fucking relying on the F1. Sergey's fucking relying on TV shows. I'm relying on the NBA playoffs. That's where we're at. So,
Good
um,
Lord.
so that is all the news for WWE, man. That is all the news for WWE. We only got a couple stories in AEW, but before we get to that, we got an official word from the sponsor of NHP, W Energy. W is an energy drink loaded with vitamins and nootropics formulated to improve focus without getting the jitters. W is a clean formula, sugar-free, 0-calorie, free from fillers and artificial colorings with 150 milligrams of caffeine per serving. You can get your W products today with the link below and code NHP at checkout to save yourselves 10% on your next W purchase.
Always got to shout out W, man. Whether it's work, workout, whatever you may need the energy for, it is Double or Nothing weekend. You know how late those pay-per-views run, and you know how late the review runs because the pay-per-view runs so late. So if you want to be up with us past midnight like we do, try W, man. You guys won't have the jitters. It'll taste good all at the same time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As always, shout out to the official sponsor of NHP, W Energy, man. So, my man Hunter, he says, will there be a Saturday night's main event review tomorrow after the show? Not tomorrow after the show. Tonight, tomorrow night will be pretty busy. So if we do a review for Saturday night's main event, it will be Sunday morning, probably around noon. And I will tell you, the only way we will probably be live for a Saturday night's main event is if they have Sami Zayn turn heel.
Mm,
because I
literally.
that is probably the key to a Saturday night's main event review, because I am
What else
I
would we talk about?
I will be ridiculously annoyed and probably ready to rant if that is the
Oh,
case.
yeah.
So
Exactly, man. They've been they've been doing a lot of shit, and if they do that shit, we'll be live that Sunday morning, man, 'cause holy hell.
yes. So Josh Alexander. We got a story on Josh Alexander. He was doing an interview with Shaq Fu. Well, he says, Shaquille Majuro. I don't know, Shaq Fu is his @ if you guys were interested.
Mhm.
He talked about how he turned down a pitch for a run in NXT and a title match at Stand and Deliver. Oh, brother. He
Ugh.
says there were rumblings of two that I heard about after the fact that were denied by management for whatever political reason there was, them not wanting me to lose or something like that. There was an offer. There was one offer on the table for me to do a big run and then wrestle for a title on the Stand and Deliver pay-per-view, I think it was. I had turned that down because it just didn't fit with what my goals were coming into contract time and stuff like that, with negotiations coming up. Now look, Josh, I completely respect why you went to AEW. I respect the reason, but let's not sit here and say you turned it down because it didn't fit with your goals. Um, I
And
think long term it would have, so the Don Callis family fit with your goals.
and it, from what he's describing there, that was going to be a run that was in TNA before his contract went up, or he would have done something in NXT as a TNA guy. If I'm being honest, I would have done that anyway, because even if your plan anyway was to go to AEW, you can make even more money than I'm sure you already fucking made by having a run in NXT and even saying that you'll go to AEW. They would have probably offered you even more money if you told them that. If you had a run in NXT as a TNA guy and you told AEW, you know, I might be leaning towards you guys, but I don't know. I'm sure you already got the bag, but you would have got even better of a bag. So I think no matter where you were going, which I guess obvious now from his interview, it's obvious it was AEW. Yeah, I still probably would have done that anyway. Even because even then, that would have been more momentum for you going into the company. Oh, this guy was in TNA. WWE was so interested they had him do a run in NXT, is while in TNA, and he still went to AEW. He would have arrived in AEW with a lot of momentum. I personally, I don't know why he didn't do that personally.
Either that or they were going to bring him, because I think he was up with TNA in February. So that was probably something that was that was offered to him,
Hmm.
coming up with his contract. So again, I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't necessarily use that as some sort of leverage. Again, like you said, he probably did get the bag, but like he got the bag. But
Like,
if WWE did use him, if WWE did use him in that manner, and they offered that to him, it really makes me question um why
what?
he went to AEW, because in WWE it just seems like I don't know, in WWE it just seems like there would have been more long-term success. I feel they probably would have started him off wrestling in NXT, but I honestly feel the end game there was for them to put him with Ethan Page, and I think they wanted the North as a tag team,
Hmm.
and I think that would have been fucking awesome. Because
I would love that.
Josh Alexander
Yeah.
with Ethan Page sounds a lot better than what we're seeing from Josh Alexander kind of on his own. He doesn't really have any charisma, so I think Ethan Page could have really helped him in that aspect. And two, if
Mhm.
they were going to put a single spotlight on him, creatively, WWE was the way to go. Now, obviously, we've heard he went there because of the money. He wanted to, secure it for his family. Can't knock that at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't knock that at all. But creatively, uh, it just seems like, maybe WWE would have been a little bit less money, but I feel WWE could have possibly set him up long term, and it would have been more long term success. As to where AEW is kind of, I don't feel there's going to be any success, and it's just going to be money. Which, if that's what he was looking for, that's what he was looking for. But I feel in WWE he would have had success and maybe a little bit less money, but still good money nonetheless.
Exactly.
So kind of crazy. I also WWE offering a big run and then to wrestle for a title on Stand and Deliver. Um I really wish that wasn't such a thing in NXT, is the guarantee for a championship, because you see a lot of guys come into NXT and they almost immediately win a title right away. It can be
It
rather annoying.
Yeah, it really does. They really make it feel like developmental, if that makes sense. When with that system of, oh, let's come in, we'll give them an NXT title, boom, they like them, boom, we move them up. NXT really used to be its own thing, and I'm not saying it has to be that, but they're really not doing themselves any favors with the way they go about things. If you did it a little slower, I think it'd be a lot more successful
And it
in terms of
especially,
building people up.
yeah, for sure. And it especially looks weird because, like, you have some guys that do really have to work for it. Like,
Mhm.
like Obafemi, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He came up, from an NIL tryout. And then you have guys that come in like Ricky Saints, immediately wins a title, and you could just tell, like, oh, okay, they promised him that. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
it just looks
Yeah.
weird. Like some guys, it feels like they focus on their development. Other guys come in and it's like, oh, we promised you this, so there you go.
Mm. Exactly. We promise you this. This will hold you over till there's space on the main roster. That's really it's a placeholder title half the time at this point.
Yeah. So yes, Josh Alexander turned down what sounded like decent creative in NXT, and
It really did.
he is in the Don Callis family. So I hope creatively he feels fulfilled. Speaking
I
of
hope
another
so.
one of Ethan Page's old buddies, Scorpio Sky.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Holy
Wonder
you are
why.
not fucking lying, bro. Um, Scorpio Sky. He is unsure why he has been benched. I just love how that's just a word
It's a
now.
term now. They WWE really made that a thing. Why would Nick Khan say that? He's such an idiot for that. Now it's literally a wrestling term that people use. Oh, that person's benched. Come on,
they
bruh.
they they quite literally bench people all the time is the funniest
They
part.
do.
You literally there
They
I just
all
seen a
do.
quote from Omo, and he was saying he's just patiently waiting.
Literally
So
benched.
he's bench warming.
He's literally benched. Like that's what benched means, bruh. It doesn't mean the person's hurt, or it just means you're literally just not using them. They're literally just quote sitting on the bench waiting to be used.
Yep.
Fucking wild.
Yep.
Ugh,
So
like a Nick Khan, man.
Scorpio Sky said on the Creating Character podcast, when asked if comments he made during a interview with Chris Van Vliet in 2024 could have harmed his standing in the company, he says, "To be honest with you, I didn't lie. When I was on the show, when when I was on the show, but I definitely went out of my way to not make the company look bad. Really, I really obviously wanted to preserve a relationship that would have been built over a number of years. I did not want to say anything that would poison that relationship. Come to find out, someone there still maybe still maybe has a few issues with some things I said. Now I'm like, screw it. I'm going to say whatever the hell I want now. This guy continued saying, "It's something that's been on my mind. I don't think about it too much, but sometimes I do wonder. What is their perspective? Do people think I'm not profiled because I suck? I don't have it anymore. I'm hurt. Do they think there's bad blood? The reality is, I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's bad blood or not. I know I'm healthy and I've been healthy for a long time, and I've been wanting to compete. It's just one of those things where what can you do? You only have so much to say. You only have this much." Holds fingers close together. So he's saying you only have this much. What can you do? Vignettes aired for Sky's return on AEW TV in summer of 2024, but no return ever came to fruition.
Ugh. It's tricky because it's such a common thing in AEW that it could be like a purposeful thing by like Tony Khan or somebody in the company, but until that actually ever comes out, we'll never know because it's a pretty common thing in AEW to just not be on television for a long period of time. I mean, I think I just saw fucking some collision mark on Twitter asking the other week, where's Beast Mordos? He got the fucking the Tony Khan special of just not being used. So it could be a personal thing, but it's so common in AEW. Who knows if it is or not because it's half the roster gets this.
Definitely. I can't exactly remember what he said on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, but I'm sure that did not help. Yeah, it could be, again, it could be one thing where there could be bad blood, or it could be another thing where they just don't care to use him at all. And it's been about a year. Tony, bro, if you have not used somebody for a year and they're healthy for a year, please just let the man go. I mean, please. At some point something's got to give, and you got to just understand at some point, dude, why am I paying this guy to sit at home? Why? So,
You really have to ask yourself.
Scorpio Sky is benched, and he doesn't really know why, as does anybody else. So, yeah.
Like, literally, man. So, I mean, unfortunately, it's a pretty common occurrence in AEW, so who knows when that answer is going to be answered.
Yep. And with the next thing, AEW All Out.
They did it.
Oh my god. They fucking did
They
it.
finally. How many years has it been? Which All Out is this? What number-wise? What is it, 6?
Yes, I believe so.
Finally, the 6th year of doing it, you finally moved locations. Look at that.
They did it, man. AEW All Out is set to take place at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto on Saturday, September 20th. Oh my god, Tony finally did it. He took All out of Chicago, which is a market that has been absolutely burnt out from All Out, and he moved it off of a bank holiday weekend. Tony,
Look,
major big ups to you, bro. This is a great move. This is what we've been talking about for years, man. fans in Chicago are tired of All Out. We want a different pay-per-view. We want different event merch. We just want a different atmosphere, different time of year. We don't want All Out every year. All Out is
No,
going to Toronto. My eyes, this is a great move. Toronto is a great market for them. I think this is just overall a great move. I am very, very happy with this.
exactly. I think they did it perfectly, dude. You moved the weekend, which is just great, and you finally moved the location, dude. How many years doing in Chicago? 5. You're finally moving it out. It's gonna be a fresh market. The fans are gonna be excited to watch All Out, and take a break from Chicago. So the next time you do come for something that isn't All Out, hopefully, the fans are excited and they want to go. Continue this, please. This was a really good move. Even they picked the perfect city too. The whole like logo theme of All Out with like everything being gray, but for Chicago, the stars would be red. Look at that, the maple leaf. It literally fits perfectly for Toronto, dude.
Yep.
Um, they did it. Look at that. Do more of this. Please do it for every one of your shows. Move cities every year. Some years, don't go to Vegas. Don't go, especially don't go to Vegas. I think everyone wants to steer clear of that place for right now. But steer clear of Chicago for a little bit, dude, and just make it fresh, dude. This is
Yep.
a great move, and I hope you do this more.
Absolutely, man. This is awesome. I love this, man. Like we've talked about these guys moving markets and just all this other stuff for so long with Double or Nothing, with All In, with All Out. It's just something that needed to be done. They needed to branch out. They needed to explore different markets and not run certain markets dry of these shows, man. And they did it this year, bringing Double or Nothing to Phoenix. Now that was probably because of WrestleMania, but I hope they do it this year. Look, if you want to return Double or Nothing to Las Vegas for the 5-year anniversary, the 10-year anniversary, the 15, the 20-year anniversary of the show, that's one thing, man. But to do it every year, you burnt the market out. Nobody wants to see
Hmm.
the same show every single year. It's a horrible way of doing things. And obviously, you can see that with the fatigue in market throughout the years. And same thing with All Out in Chicago. It needed to move. It needed to move out of
Hmm.
Chicago, out of Schaumburg, wherever. It needed to move out of Illinois, and they did that. And again, Toronto. That's a great move. That's a great move. Every time they go to Toronto, it's always a great crowd. So I'm excited to see them there for All Out. And I know they're doing 2026 All In Wembley, but you know, have that be the last year for a minute in Wembley. Go elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Go to other places. Bring that to Canada, Mexico. Um, you know, uh,
A
somewhere
lot of
else in
people
the
are
UK, somewhere. Um,
A lot of people are trying to say they should bring All into New Orleans after that news.
Oh my god. That would
It
that
should
would
be
be
hilarious.
hilarious. That would actually be hilarious. Yes, please keep doing this, Tony. Please just evolve this. This shouldn't have taken this
Please.
long, but please. Um yeah, just explore, man. Different themes, different feels, keep things fresh. That is what AEW needs. Um
That is what they need.
So, before we get to the Saturday night's main event and Double or Nothing predictions, we got one more story for you guys regarding Double or Nothing. Triller TV is not going to be streaming Double or Nothing for anybody that uses Triller TV, and that is reportedly because they are in a bad financial state. This could be why Double or Nothing is not on the platform in North America. This is according to Uncle Dave. Triller is in a really bad financial state. They did not file their 10Q. They're on the verge of being delisted. Their stock is under $1. $1 shares or $1. Their stock is under $1 per share, so they need someone to buy them right now because they're in trouble. He says Double or Nothing not being on Triller TV probably plays into something having to do with this. If you're far behind, there is obviously the fear that you may not get your money. And I know other people who have done business there are fearing that right now.
Wow.
Damn.
That sucks, man. I think there was a decent amount of people that used them too, so sucks for them. And I hope they find a good alternative, man. Personally, I think we like YouTube.
We do,
That's
for
that's
sure.
what we use. But for all those who use Triller, I hope you guys find a good alternative because that's crazy.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, that definitely sucks for the people that use Triller. But yeah, so if you are a Triller user, this is something to I guess be, weary of if you do buy through them. But again, just from my opinion, I think YouTube is the
Mhm.
simplest and best option. You get good quality, it's easy to fucking buy. I am just so glad those days of Bleacher Report are done.
Oh, thank God! I
Holy
fucking
fuck.
hated Bleacher Report.
Oh my god, man. How horrendous was that? So yeah, that is all the news here for today. Now, I was going to say double or nothing. Starting off with Saturday night's main event. Starting off here, Damian Priest, the guy that they're marveling at for his toughness, is going to be put in a
Toughness.
steel cage against the other guy who can barely turn his head, but nobody's marveling at him, Drew McIntyre. Who won it? It was Drew, right? It was Drew.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and say um uh, fuck I may
Maybe
probably honestly probably Priest.
probably Priest. Especially they might want to write Drew off TV for a little bit, let him heal up as much, and then they're praising the fucking guy so much, so they're probably gonna have Priest win.
Probably. Hassan, what up, bro? How you doing?
What's up, man? How you doing?
For the world heavyweight title, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. Um
Okay.
Logan Paul has been whooping this man's ass like every week. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Jay.
I
Hopefully
think
this
yeah, I think
hopefully this doesn't lead to our all-star six-man tag for Money in the Bank.
I fucking really hope not, dude. Yeah, he's been whooping his ass, and then even then, like everyone on TV, like just praises Jey Uso as a champ too. So it's gonna be Jey Uso. Fucking
Yes.
Paul Heyman glazing Jey Uso for no reason. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be a Jey Uso win.
In a non-title match,
Yep.
John Cena versus R-Truth. Wonder
That,
who's gonna win this. Hopefully we do get some interesting character arc for Cena, and I guess just a bit of a follow up to what we seen at the last pay per view Backlash. So I hope we get a little follow up for that. But obviously going for Cena.
I think it's definitely gonna be Cena. I'm sure we're gonna get some continuation of what we got at Backlash of like the regret on his face. I'm sure he's gonna beat him. He's gonna regret what he did a little bit, and then he's gonna snap into beating him up again. And it's probably verbatim is that's what it's gonna be.
Probably. And the last match, the match that is going to determine whether we do a review on this shit or not. CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Why this was not on Backlash, I have no fucking idea, but it's here on Saturday night's main event, Double or Nothing weekend. Um, again, you guys could catch us at about noon on Sunday if Sami Zayn fucking turns heel. Because we will be talking about that. However, I think you almost have to have Rollins and Breaker win this. I mean, this is their first match as a tag team. Don't know why you would have them lose.
Exactly. I really don't know why, unless you want to make that third man that they are gonna get like more of a precedent. So maybe like Roman can return, outnumber them. Boom. They realize they need their third man now. Maybe, but even then, I think that's kind of dumb to do it that fast. So I definitely would say the heel should win.
For sure. That is everything for Saturday night's main event. Again, if there is anything big enough to talk about, we will talk about it on unscripted, or if there is anything big enough that happens on the show, i.e., Sami Zayn turning heel, we will be live Sunday morning with the post show review.
Hmm.
But if not, probably won't be a review for that if nothing happens, because usually those are just 2 hours of WWE oversaturating their product, giving us way more than any of us asked for at this current time period. Double or nothing. Double or nothing. Um, there is a match on the pre-show I did see, the 0 hour. It is like Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and somebody, Harley Cameron, I think. Um,
Man,
uh,
that's a match.
yeah, I guess I'll go with the heel team for that.
Sure.
So, starting off with everything we have confirmed for the main card, a trios match. The Paragon versus the Don Callis family. Takeshita, Josh Alexander, and Kyle Fletcher.
Good lord. What a match.
From
Uh,
standard delivered title matches to a trios match at Double or Nothing. What a win.
good lord. I, I- Don Callis family. Dude, I don't know what the Paragon is doing
Dude,
on
I
Collision to like
I don't
know if
even
they're gonna win or not.
I genuinely don't even recall them like feuding with the Don Callis
Interact?
family. I don't think I've
No,
ever
I
seen
don't even.
these.
I don't remember them interacting in the slightest manner. I guess it happened on Collision. Again, I don't watch Collision, so I don't know like who why is more likely to win or not. I know the Don Callis family more on TV than I know Adam Cole, unfortunately.
Man.
So I'm gonna go with the Don Callis family, but I'm just throwing a ball in the fucking basket at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Um yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say the Paragon picks up the victory. There you go.
Good lord.
FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. Um,
Is it gonna be anybody but FTR? Why would FTR lose this is the real question.
the only way they could lose this match is if Adam Copeland returns, maybe, and costs them the
Maybe.
match. But then at that, I mean, we still do have 2 months to, I guess, build to Edge and Christian being back together. So maybe that would be the outcome. They're making it sound like if Nigel loses this, then he's gonna die, because they're like all all I could
Shit.
all I could see all I see them posting on social media is did Nigel McGuinness just sign his death warrant? Like, dude, he's just
Damn.
facing FTR. They're not even in like a ridiculously brutal match. They're just in a regular tag match. Like, what is uh,
th- they're not even like the Death Riders. You could say, oh, they might beat the life out of him. Or, dude, it's FTR. What? I mean, if it's Cash, maybe his life is
I
at
mean,
stake,
he,
man.
he
Yeah,
might shoot him.
if he cuts him off, exactly. You never know. But like, it's not that brutal, bro. It's he's teaming with Daniel Garcia here. That can only be so important. But yeah, Adam Copeland could come back and cost them. I don't know if he's gonna come back yet, but I'm just gonna say FTR.
Uh, I will go ahead and I'll actually throw my name in the hat of the Adam. I was gonna say the Adam Cole, the Adam Copeland return and cost FTR. So I'll go ahead and say Nigel and Daniel Garcia.
Good lord. in a tag team.
In a stretcher match, Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet.
Wonder who's gonna lose this match.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say AEW's resident loser, Mark Briscoe.
Literally, they never have the fucking guy win anything for
Nothing.
some reason.
Absolutely
And,
nothing.
Ricochet needs a win right now.
He
So
does.
I wonder what happens when you put a guy that needs to win versus a guy they always have lose. I wonder what's going to happen. Obvious fucking Ricochet win.
There you go. For the AEW Tag Team Championships, the Hurt Syndicate versus the ROH Tag Team Champions, the Sons of Texas. Who again? Who could possibly win this one? Who?
Man, could could the Sons of Texas possibly take this? Could
Could they pull
Sammy
it off?
Guevara and Dustin Rhodes fucking win against the Hurt Syndicate? You never know, man. You never know. Very obvious. Very fucking obvious Hurt Syndicate win. Literally, the only thing I'm thinking about with this match is going to be what, the MJF involvement looks to be.
That's exactly that is what this whole match is centered around. Do you remember the Four Pillars promo? Do you remember when Sammy Guevara was like cutting a passionate promo about like all the
Oh,
odd
yeah,
jobs he's worked?
he did. That is
You
true.
remember how awesome that promo was?
Yeah, what happened to that? What happened
Well,
to that guy?
2 years later, at the exact show, he is in the Sons of Texas fighting the Hurt
The,
Syndicate.
he is tag teaming with Dustin Rhodes as they are the ROH, I was going to say NXT, damn near the same thing,
Yeah.
ROH Tag Team Champions. Good Lord.
What the fuck happened? I'm
Literally,
yawning
bro, what
already.
happened?
God. The next match for the AEW Women's World Championship, Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa. Yeah, this is a this is a Tony sweep for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Obvious Tony sweep. Yeah, Tony Storm is gonna win.
There you go. For the Continental Championship, I'm actually very excited for this match. I know it makes no sense, but Speedball is my guy. He's one of my favorites on AEW. Um, Speedball Mike Bailey, or as Excalibur says, Speedball Bailey, versus Kazuchika Okada for the Continental Championship. This is gonna cook. This is gonna be fucking awesome
This is gonna go. It's gonna be an obvious Okada win because
for sure.
of course. But it's gonna fucking cook. I mean, this is genuinely the match I'm probably most excited for. This shit sounds fire.
This is probably number two for me. This is probably number
Hmm.
number
I get it.
number two or three for me. Um, honestly, probably
It's a,
three, but they do have three really big matches
I
that
was
I'm
gonna,
excited for. Um,
they got a strong 3 on this show, and that's about it.
so the show's probably gonna suck until we get to these three matches.
Until the final
And you
3,
know
yeah.
Tony Khan's gonna save them for the last three.
Yep,
So
exactly.
yeah, Speedball and
Actually,
Okada. Mhm.
I could maybe see the Anarchy in the Arena opening.
Maybe. You
I
know
wouldn't be
Tony
shocked
Khan
at
loves
that.
his triple headers, as he calls them.
That is true, though. Exactly.
Um but yeah, Speedball, Speedball and Okada is it's going to be a great match. Okada's definitely winning this though. They're obviously building to the Kenny match in July, so there's really no reason to no re- uh, no reason to take the championship off of him now. But
Mhm.
when they do merge these belts, the international and the continental title, I would love to see Speedball be the guy to take one of them, or
Definitely.
take the
A
title
new
when it's
thing.
merged. Yeah, from
Yeah.
Omega or Okada, whoever has it. But one on one, Speedball and Kenny would be pretty fire. But yeah, I'll go ahead and say Okada.
Yeah, it's a definite Okada win, but like you said, I would like Speedball to eventually win that, whatever combined identity title that's going to be.
So, Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter in the final to the women's Owen. See,
Oh, God.
I'm excited for this match. I really am, but I'm also real ridiculously scared for this match.
Oh, I'm so scared, dude. It could really go any way, and I'm fucking terrified, dude. I hope it's going to be Jamie Hayter. I really hope so, but it could be any result at the end of the day.
Yes, I really hope we see the Athena involvement and she cost Mercedes the match because we have not seen her since that loss. And just please do not tell me, please, for the love of God, do not fucking tell me you just had Athena just go out there and fucking lose cold turkey and just
For
never to be
nothing.
seen or heard from again on AEW TV. She's got to cost Mercedes the match, and Jamie's got to take it and go on to fight Tony. 1,000%.
Exactly, man. It's got to be Jamie Hayter, and you got to be setting up Mercedes and Athena, dude. You have to be doing that.
So, Anarchy in the Arena. You have the Death Riders and the Young Bucks. Claudio, Yuta, Moxley, Matt Nick, and Marina Shafir versus the team of Swerve Strickland, Kenny Omega, Samoa Joe, Hobbs, Shibata, and Willow Nightingale.
Ugh. Except for the match type.
I am very excited for the match type. I don't know what the fuck these teams are this year, but I am very excited for the match type. I feel like Gabe Kidd is going to be involved. I feel like there's a
Yeah.
possibility we see Eddie Kingston or somebody else, join to um, get the
It's,
even the odds for the Death Riders.
I was gonna say I feel like they won't be added officially, but during the match they're gonna make an appearance and make themselves a present in the match, and shit. So yeah. So even though I feel like this would be the perfect opportunity to get a win for the baby faces, so I kind of kept assuming, building up to this that the baby faces would win, but with now the involvement of fucking Gabe Kidd and shit, I might say the Death Riders, but also they got Eddie Kingston possibly helping. Genuinely, dude, it's so fucking stupid all this shit they're doing, man. I'm gonna just say the baby faces and whatever fucking happens happens.
Yeah, I am actually gonna go ahead and say the Death Riders. I think they're going to try to I think they're going to do their best to give you the hostile takeover vibe. The closer and closer we get to All In, I think they're going to try to make it look like the Death Riders and John Moxley are an unbeatable unit, and
Hmm.
I think that too. If the Young Bucks win, I think they're going to try to. If the Bucks win, I think they're going. I think Swerve is going to continue to try to gun for them, and then obviously he's going to need some sort of help from Adam Page. So I'll go ahead and say the
Okay,
Death Riders.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
And according to Wednesday, what will be main eventing the program?
Ooh,
The finals to the men's Owen, Will Ospreay versus Adam Page. This is your main event.
fire.
And this, fuck man, this is gonna be
Yeah.
this is gonna be fucking awesome.
You seen what they were like calling this match, or they at least they made a graphic for it? A Redemption versus Ascension.
Yes,
That's fire. That's
yes,
fire as fuck,
yeah,
dog. Like, this is the kind of shit I want to see more of.
yep,
Hey, pumped for this match. This shit's about to bang. Great story leading up to it. And if I'm predicting, I think it's going to be Will Ospreay.
yes. I think that Hangman's Red Dead Redemption is not coming
Mhm.
yet. I think
No,
that it's going to be I think he's going to have to take care of the Young Bucks. I think he's going to have to completely bury his problems with Swerve. And I think Osprey punches his ticket to All In, and I think it's going to be Osprey and Moxley in the main event. I actually think it's going to end up becoming Osprey versus Moxley versus Darby in the main event of
I
that
think
show.
so.
Um, but I think for now, we're going to go I think we're just gonna stick to Osprey versus Moxley, like I said, until Darby gets added. But this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be awesome. Yes, they did say it. I think 2 weeks ago on their promo. This is Redemption versus Ascension, and this is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be awesome. This could possibly be a match of the year candidate, and yeah,
Almost
this
definitely.
is gonna absolutely cook. This is probably the best I've ever seen them build the Owen men's final, and this is how you fucking do it, Tony. So huge props to Tony
Exactly.
Khan for doing this year, because this whole men's Owen build has just been tremendous for the final.
It really it really has been, and this is how you book a tournament like this. Obviously, with a tournament in AEW, you're gonna get cool matchups, which, I think they could usually do better, but this is gonna be a great matchup, and it has a story of one guy trying to redeem himself, redemption, and one guy trying to ascend the ladder, dude. It's perfect. I love it. And I really like what they're doing here, man, and I cannot wait to see this.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So that is going to do it for all your predictions for Double or Nothing, all your predictions for Saturday night's main event. Like I said, as of right now, we do not plan to be live for Saturday night's main event. Like I said, unless these motherfuckers turn Sami Zayn heel. But hopefully not. We'll move with that. Hopefully not. So we should not be live for Saturday night's main event, but we will be live for Double or Nothing. So you can catch us Sunday night for Double or Nothing, man. You guys get us 2 days in a row for Double or Nothing and Unscripted the next night. So excited for that, man. Excited for that. And yes, excited to hang out with you guys on Sunday. So enjoy the shows, and yeah, hopefully this one isn't as bad as Dynasty. So Will
Yeah,
Ospreay and
I hope not.
Hangman is the main event, so I certainly hope not. But and we get an Anarchy in the arena, so hopefully it will be good, man. But yeah, that is gonna do it, and it has been always a pleasure for my Johnny.
Good night, Sir K.
And that is going to do it for this edition of the news. This has been episode 267 of the news. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. Thank you to everybody who came out, everybody here live and a part of the Replay Mafia. Thank you guys so very much. Hassan, Bell, and my man Hunter. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. And with that, that is going to do it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you all Sunday night following Double or Nothing with the Double or Nothing 2025 official post-show review.
Peace.